Howdy. I'm not even gonna use this microphone actually, so apologies immediately for anything like the sound of my dishwasher in the background. Hello, welcome back. My name is Isabel, and it is the end, or it has been the end, of Q1 of 2026 for a second now, and I want to do a Q1 reading audit. So, let me pull out my reading journal I barely use, but that I used for notes for this video. So we're going to address a couple things. Order of events, the stats so far of 2026. We are going to talk Q2 TBR. We're going to talk about my book goals and check in with those. Let's talk. My book goals for 2026 were as follows. I use Storygraph. Let's preface all of this by saying that. So my goal is to read 50 books this year. I have two other goals besides the overall reading goal. So I want to read 50 books, and then I am in two challenges on Storygraph that I want to complete before the end of the year. One of them is Storygraph Reads the World 2026. The other one is Storygraph's Genre Challenge 2026. First and foremost, overall reading goal. Books I've read so far this year. Q1 is over. We're halfway through Q2 probably at this point. And I have read 26 out of 50 books. Can we get some noise for that one? That's really good. I'm halfway through my goal way before it's halfway through the year. Y'all don't understand. That's big news for me. So, I'm really proud of that. Storygraph says right now I'm ahead by 9 books. I don't think I've ever been ahead by 9 books. I've been behind by 9 books though. Storygraph Reads the World Challenge. We are 30% of the way through that challenge, which is, there's 10 prompts and all the prompts are different countries. And I've read 3 books for 3 countries out of 10 countries. The countries I have read are France, Iraq, and Sweden. And I did the Sweden one literally last week, or this week, I suppose. So the countries I have left: Afghanistan, Albania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Morocco, Senegal, and Thailand. So I guess if you have any recommendations for books that are set in those countries or are about those countries, let a girl know. I do have a TBR of sorts for these, so I have books lined up that I think I'm going to like for each of these countries. I just have to read them. And then in a similar vein, the other challenge I'm doing is the Storygraph Genre Challenge. I am also 30% through this challenge. So I've done 3 prompts out of 10 prompts. And the 3 prompts that I have done is a queer historical romance novel, a crime novel set outside of the US, UK, or Canada, and the first book in a fantasy series. The things I have not touched: a short story collection in translation. That one's gonna be hard, I think. A nonfiction book about Indigenous history. That's easier. At least one of those a year, probably. A translated classic. I might try Anna Karenina for that. I don't know. A young adult novel by a Latinx author. I have one on my TBR that I'm very excited about. A biography about a Black historical figure. This sounds like a perfect recipe for a good audiobook, so I'm probably gonna hunt around for that. A nonfiction book about philosophy. I have a book on my shelf, but I don't know if that's the one I'm gonna read because I don't think it's actually nonfiction. So I have a couple awaiting on my TBR for this prompt. A literary or contemporary debut published in 2026. I don't think that's gonna be that hard to acquire over the course of the year, to be honest. So those are the 7 prompts that are remaining for those that I did not do in Q1. We talked goals. Let's talk my statistics for Q1. Now, these statistics are actually not for Q1, they're for up until the point in which I'm filming this, which is May 1st. So Q1 and part of Q2, just how it's gonna go. Okay, I had 5 5-star reads in the first quarter of the year. These were all actually within the first quarter of the year. I haven't had a 5-star read. I have a friend. I haven't had a 5-star read since April began. Well, that's a lie. I think I read Alchemized in April. Whatever. The 5 books I gave 5 stars in 2026, Q1: Foul Lady Fortune, same vein, Last Violent Call, same series, same universe, worth every 5-star. Lie With Me. This book was beautiful. Okay. Alchemized. That book changed my life and kind of made me want to write a book. and Daggermouth, a book that changed my perspective on dystopia entirely. What are you doing? A lot of good books in that lineup, hence why they got 5 stars. Genre-wise, I divided up the books into a number of genres. So I've read 26 books so far this year. 2 of them were thrillers, 9 of them were romance, 2 of them were like literary fiction, 5 of them were fantasy, 1 of them was dystopian, 3 of them were nonfiction, and 4 of them were graphic novels. So I would call, what are you doing, dude? I'm calling that a success. I feel like I'm shocked by the amount of romances I've read. I don't feel like I remember having read 9 romances already this year, but it makes sense with how much I've been devouring Kindle Unlimited romances. So, not surprised. Well, I am surprised. Let's talk about my Q2 TBR. My little baby. I don't really be owning a jar. This is my TBR envelope, and we are gonna pull, there's slips of paper in here for every book I have free access to immediately that is on my TBR. Meaning Kindle Unlimited books are in here, and every book I have physically on my shelves is also in here, and just little slips of paper. What we're gonna do is pull out, say 5. I think 5 is a good number because I will mood read. I'm an avid mood reader. So I think 5 is a good number. I'm gonna pull out 5, and those will be on my TBR for Q2. Try not to pull out 17 million of them together. Okay. Parable of the Sower. That's interesting because I read page 1 of this book recently, so that makes sense to me. I should probably just continue it. Let's see, this one. What does this say? Shield of Sparrows, okay. That, I believe, on Kindle Unlimited, and it's been on my TBR as a fantasy series, and I know, well, I don't know, but I think the second one just came out. So it's a great time to read this. And these are a little different, so I like where this is going so far. I can't read that. The Second Death of Locke. I actually put this on my May TBR. So that's really good because this has been highly anticipated and I really think I'm gonna love it. I could maybe give this book a 5 star. I think it's perfect that we pulled that for the TBR. And also, like, to my knowledge, a little different than the rest of these anyway. You're joking. The Overstory. I really want to unhaul this book. I blind bought this book and I started it and I just think I don't like it. It is like a weird fiction book. I don't know what it's about. I genuinely don't. Like, put the blurb on the screen, okay? What on earth is any of that talking about? Like, it makes no sense to me. I don't know that I'm ever gonna get to this. We're not gonna count it as one of the 5, low key, because I do really want to unhaul it actually, because I don't ever want to read it. Okay, we're for 4 now. The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Okay. I've been meaning to read that book for quite a while. Once again, think I'm gonna love it. Don't know why I'm putting it off. Story of my life, right? And then, okay, 5th book for the Q2 TBR. Brimstone. This is long overdue, to be quite honest with you. I read Quicksilver earlier this year already, and I loved it. Brimstone has been out almost the entire time since I read Quicksilver, and I just still haven't gotten to it. I need to. It's just on my list, but I've not gotten to it. It's literally in my Kindle library, so I'm crazy. Okay, so let's review. The Overstory, no go, okay? The other books on my Q2 TBR that I want to make sure I get to. The Favorites, The Second Death of Locke, Shield of Sparrows, Parable of the Sower, and Brimstone. Those all feel very doable. Hopefully we can get that done. We can all hope. I'm not the biggest TBR doer. I don't follow a TBR. I'm bad at following TBRs. That's why I don't like do TBR videos or anything like that, like make content, because I'm terrible at following TBRs. So that's just my truth. That is all I have today for a Q1 reading audit. Thanks for coming to this little short video. If you would like, subscribe, comment, that would mean the world to me. Also check me out over on TikTok. It is at Booked with Isabel. I post there more frequently than I post here. So if you want more content from me, that's where you can find me. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. Bye.